Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose, and welcome back to the Cryptic Paranormal Show. And tonight, as usual, I have my wonderful co host, D Nice, right
What's
over
up?
there. How are you doing tonight?
I'm
Down
I'm
there,
doing
we
great.
awesome. Down there, we got the eye candy, the one who keeps the show together, Mr. Heisenberg. What's happening?
All right. Since we're going to go with this, I'd like to take this opportunity to let
Okay.
everybody join the Heisenberg fan club. It
Oh,
costs $1,000 a week.
nice.
You starting a
Basically, the
Patreon?
same kind of relationship we have right now.
Okay. I'm in.
All
I
right.
might look at you and say, "What's up?"
Yep.
I won't
Yep.
text you. I won't call you. I might
It's the
sign
best.
something.
It's the
Okay.
best deal you guys are gonna get. It's the best deal anybody's gonna get.
Yeah.
$1,000 a week. The link is in the description.
Does that include air? You can.
Subscribe and like, thumbs up, hit
Yeah.
that bell to get notifications when you're on. We're not there yet.
I am
He is.
$1,000 a week. That's all it
We
takes.
aren't
Nice.
there yet.
No. It'll be a while before I'm with you, though, Heisenberg. I don't know about $1,000 a week. That's a little steep for me. Luckily, I can already call you a friend, though, right? You're not
Yeah.
going to charge me.
Luckily, you already don't text me back, so we're good.
True.
You guys are honorary
There is
members
that.
of the fan club.
I get it. I get it.
Awesome. Thank you.
So is my wife.
Yeah, she's the
We're-
So is
president.
about anybody in my inner circle.
Oh, well, you do need the production team to kind of run things for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's right.
So so it's kind of an exciting night. We got a big announcement we'll probably go with here in just a little bit. We get a few more.
Yeah, I wanted to get
Okay.
Darren's. Look, Darren's here.
Yo, guys, our buddy from the haunted Old Licking County Jail. What's up, buddy?
Super haunted.
Oh,
That's
Darren,
right.
you're automatically in.
See, you can't keep giving it away, Heisenberg. You're never
Yeah.
going to make money. But I
Yeah,
agree.
Darren
Darren
says
should be
I'm
free.
in as long as you stay your
You
gorgeous
don't
self.
understand. I'm only giving it away to the people I know, man.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Right.
Sorry.
I've been saying that so much because we got Peacock for a while, and we've been doing nothing but binging The Office.
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
watching. I was watching the reaction of the dinner party actually the other day. It's one of
Oh,
my favorite
nice.
episodes.
Yes, that's awesome.
What's up, Mike Newsom? Mike Newsom has been sharing some scary bird facts with me.
Oh, really?
Bird?
Yeah,
Do well.
'cause Mike's like, if you ever have questions about birds, ask Mike. But like some of these videos about parrots and just the things that they say are absolutely wild. I shared a video with him the other day that was a parrot that kept going, "Shh, it's okay, sweetie, come here. I'm not going to hurt you." And I'm like,
Ugh.
what?
Whew.
Where did it learn this?
Did you see the story where the I think it was a lovebird or something tried to save his owner and like they both ended up dead because of the bird, it had blood on its beak from the guys that were attacking. They were able to find out who did it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So the bird in the end did help in some way.
Yeah, the bird in the end did help and saved, or solved it at least.
That's cool.
Awesome. I follow a bunch of these people on TikTok that they walk around and hike around with their ravens on their shoulder.
Oh, that's so cool.
And these ravens like talk to them like hello,
Yeah.
and like mwah, like they'll poke them with their beak, and you hear a kissing sound. It's a
love it.
little offsetting, but then it's like that's really cool. Like,
It is really cool.
I'd only want a
And-
bird if I could have an attack bird like the guy that just got killed with his bird.
Yeah.
I want my bird to go down with me.
Yeah.
Go down fighting.
Right. My wife will only have a bird. She doesn't like birds. Except we have a pair of birds that have made a nest right on our front door, and one
That's
of her.
nice.
on
Those
her
are
Easter
attack birds
tree.
now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
They'll
other
attack
night
you
coming
too,
home-
though.
The other night when I came home from Madison Seminary, or I should say morning.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that they were in there, and I opened the door, and it hit me on the way out. Scared, just fell off.
Birds are
You're
crazy
already
too,
like
man.
you're on edge because we're at Madison and then
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
I forgot to share the show, so I was doing that. If you guys haven't done that,
Yeah.
share it.
Yes, please do. What is up, Mr. Cummins? Jason says, "Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you." For those who are listening to the podcast, we do interact on the live show with our chat
No, we
friends,
don't.
just so you know.
No, you don't.
So
This is all
I've been
fake.
trying to be better about
Yeah.
reading what they're saying.
There are no comments.
We're really
We're
bad
typing all
about
this
just
ourselves.
we're really bad
You're
about
listening
just
to the podcast. We're a bunch of frauds.
Yeah, I
We're really
don't
bad about
edit it
just
or
reading
anything.
a
I
comment.
literally just download it straight from the show. I don't flip it over. So Mike says there is an African gray who was used as an official witness in a murder trial.
Yeah.
Nice.
Birds are crazy smart, even the ones who don't speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
But explain to me the robin one summer when I was working third shift that was constantly every morning for at least 3 hours attacking my window.
Oh yeah. I think they think they're fighting another bird.
It had to be. I even put like a one of my kids like plushy cats like
Yeah.
in the window to try to scare it, but no. I
Oh
think
my
it
gosh,
just
stop it.
I think it just egged
That
it
was a
on
good
more.
move.
I think it knew that wasn't
That
a
was a
real
good
cat.
move.
Yeah. That's not real. I'm going to go for this bird that I see.
Like he said.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the bird in the window, but the cat, that's the pink cat, I'm not gonna fall for.
Yeah. Not falling for that one.
But I will fall for my reflection.
Right.
Uh,
That's so silly.
yeah, it's silly, but I'm a silly guy. Try to MacGyver that shit, and it just didn't work.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, we have a pretty interesting show tonight. Like I said, we got some big news, I guess.
Should
I'm
we
being
jump right
told.
into it? Heisenberg?
I don't know what's going on. That is up to you guys. I mean, if I
Yeah, let's
gotta
get
bow
this.
out tonight and it's just you two, just let me
Yeah,
know.
that's
I don't.
this
that's
going.
the secret. We're getting rid of you.
I'll just get rid of myself.
Are you ready? Should we?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's the world know.
Do
I
it.
mean, we have a decent amount of people in here. You guys ready? Let us
I
know in the
just
chat
so
room if you're ready.
happened to make a video for you guys to introduce our new collaboration. So here we go. Hopefully I can get this to work.
Wow, co-hosts and co-workers.
And co-workers.
That is
That's
awesome.
right.
Congratulations.
That
Mike,
was a
I
great
know it
video, Denise. Good job.
Thank you.
Mike,
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, man. I almost let the it slip out the minute I knew you were starting to work, but you guys reined me in. I was excited
That
for
was
you.
hilarious.
Like nobody
I was just
knows.
like,
Yeah.
no.
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm Heisenberg. Nothing exciting ever happens with me. But no, that's awesome, you guys. Congratulations. And
Yeah, we're
I am a
super
little
excited.
jealous, but there's no
Well,
way I could do that with my
Plenty
job.
of room on the team. Just saying.
I mean, maybe if I'm looking for a part-timer, me and Heisenberg can knock out Summit and Portage County.
Right? Yeah.
We
So,
can tag team.
since we don't, people who are listening to the podcast, all they heard was clapping.
Yes. Right.
Heisenberg recently got his real estate license and is going to be working with me. We're super excited about it. And it's not, I mean, it's nice because it's not even a
Sorry, that
competition.
was
Like
last week's cop.
he's not, it's not like he's taking, clients from me because we're, an hour and a half apart. So we could just work as a team, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Peggy says that's awesome. Congratulations. Jason said nice. Chester's just joining us.
Hey, Chester says,
Good
good to see
evening,
you on the
everyone.
show.
Thank you.
Penny.
Ooh,
Clearwater Beach, Florida.
very nice. Thank you, David. Hello.
Nice.
I thought
That's
his name
cool. I
said
love
David Acorns.
It's close. It's Alcorns,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but cool. Congratulations, you guys. I'm excited for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, me too.
So does that mean you're going to be doing some house cleanouts too down here? We could maybe find some spooky shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Maybe we could find some Ouija boards and shit in the wall, or some
You never know,
remains.
man. You never know.
I was doing a house clean out and the owners were there. And they found one and I was like, oh, do you want me to put this with the games? And they were like, no, I want that out of my house right now. And I was like, okay, bet. Put it in my car.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I think I
Yep.
gave it away at MadCon.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it up for the raffle, didn't you?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. It's never a dull moment.
Mr. Alcorn says he always gets people calling him acorns.
Yeah.
You can eat acorns if you have to in the survivalist rule, but you gotta really
Good.
boil them and blanch them or whatever.
Yeah, and you can make flour out of them.
Yeah, make stuff out like that. But you ever tasted an acorn?
No.
It
No.
doesn't taste very good.
Why have
I
you
wouldn't
tasted
imagine.
an acorn? Can we pause for a second? Why have you tasted an acorn?
Ray, you never tasted an acorn?
Nobody's tasted
No,
an acorn.
I've never tasted an acorn.
Let us know in the comments. Have you tasted an acorn? No.
Was it a bet?
I think it's more common than you guys think. I think you guys are
I'm sure it is.
I mean, that are like in the minority of this, but they don't taste very good.
Jason wants to know if any of us will be at the halfway to Halloween flea market in Medina.
No.
I did not know about the halfway to Halloween flea market.
What's that, a Halloween flea market? I'm kind of curious now.
I know that the Cleveland Haunt Club usually has some kind of like flea market type thing where it's a bunch of horror genre vendors.
That's cool.
And like they sell clothes, they sell props, they sell whatever they make in the horror genre. It's really cool. I was at what they had there. I'm not sure if that's the same thing that Jason's talking about. But I didn't know it was that week. I don't know what weekend it is. I'm gonna have to look it up because I definitely want to go.
You have no idea.
I have no idea. Well, we went there like a couple years ago, and it was really cool. Ended up seeing a lot of people I already knew.
Either, I'm guessing.
Is 431 halfway to Halloween? I don't know.
I remember the day I tasted rock salt. That was in kindergarten.
No, I have tasted that by accident. When you're kind of doing the shoveling or you're cleaning off your car after driving through the shit, and you kind of do one of these to get the frozen stuff off your mouth, and you accidentally get it in your mouth. That I've done.
There, see, my cousin has.
Oh, okay. You guys ate together. Oh, cool. Jason will be. It is the Cleveland Haunt Club.
Cool. Maybe we'll go. That would be something cool that we could do too. I mean, we could just show up. I mean, it's not like a craft show where you have to have like homemade stuff. It's pretty much people just selling whatever.
What are you guys talking about?
The halfway to Halloween flea market that Jason was asking about.
Learning about acorns, man.
You're predisposed and in deep thought about acorns.
Where does
my cousin's the only one that's eaten one.
Right. That's cool.
Oh.
David's talking about a lot of
acorns. It's not like I was popping them like popcorn. I tried to eat an acorn once. I'm not a squirrel.
Which is exactly why I've never tried one.
Right.
What'd you say, Dee?
It's Saturday, May 24th from 10 to 4 at the Medina County Community Center.
Okay. Yeah,
at the
I know where
fairground.
that is. Cool.
Yeah.
This is exactly where it was last time. Awesome. Maybe
Darren
we'll go
got
check
you.
it out.
Sorry.
What I said, I don't eat them like popcorn.
Yeah, Darren says you have eaten acorns but hate lunch meat.
Yeah.
I already answered Darren like 3 minutes ago while you guys were still doing what you were doing.
Sorry. We got like
because I'm interacting with the
6
people
different things going on here.
on here.
We got a lot of people in the chat room talking about different things, and you're still on
Right.
the acorns after about 5 minutes.
Duh. That's the last thing right up there, Darren. Acorns.
Speaking of acorns, we have David Alcorns who said they do a lot of cool investigations in Clearwater, Florida. They investigate at an elementary school. I always thought that was kind of fun, but kind of sad to investigate an elementary school, even though
Right.
I guess most of the time, at least older elementary schools were something else before that.
Right.
But
Could be the
yeah,
land too.
it's fun.
Yeah, the land too.
True.
Or after they could have been something else.
I'd always think it doesn't have to be like, say, maybe somebody really liked elementary school. They
That's
wanted to hang
true.
around there.
That's
Yeah.
true. Or
You know,
I
it's
know
somebody
not
was
a
teaching.
sad thing. They wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I know here in Ohio we have Poasttown Elementary, and that there's always the janitor. There's always a janitor
Right.
spirit that's there. That's not very nice. He's a grumpy old janitor, just like we all had in elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
Get
could
out of
be
the
teachers
boiler
that
room.
have given their life to teaching the kids
Yeah,
and everything.
right.
You know, so there's stuff that could be in there.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. And
That's
if it's
not
like
bad.
Poasttown is like not even a mile away from where there was a horrible train accident, and
I've
I
never
guess
been
they
to
use that building.
Poasttown.
They use
I've
that
never been
building
there
or that
either.
area where they put triage in that area where the
Right.
building is now. So you never know. But yeah, cool. So good news. And we're talking. If you guys are ready, are you ready, Heisenberg?
What?
Oh.
Do you have your information in front of you? Are you ready for the weekly What the F?
Were we starting at this week?
Oh.
Oh my God. Check the chat room, brother.
Yes. All right, go ahead.
Do you have
You gonna look it up?
I'm good.
You know. Okay. All right. So, anyways,
I won't have dates probably.
no, that's fine. Just the story's fine. We don't need dates. I won't remember those anyways. So, what we're starting every week, we're going to have what we call the weekly What the F, where we're going to take turns each week, bring a different weird, paranormal, crazy story that maybe some of you have heard of, maybe some of you haven't, but we're going to talk about it. And it gives us something to talk about for the rest of the show and interact with the chat room and see what you guys have to think. But here we go, first night with the weekly What the F with Heisenberg.
You guys should really have a backup when it's my night.
What the F, man? So what do you have to tell us tonight?
Wait, there's no like jingle or anything?
You didn't hear
I
it?
just played it. We both
Really?
heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to hear it again? You want to hear it again?
No,
Yeah.
sorry. So, what was I going to talk about? Portluck, Alaska, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Portluck, Alaska. That is where Bigfoot is, y'all.
Are you
wanna go
admitting
find
there's a
them?
Bigfoot?
Find them. They're there.
Okay.
So, like it was discovered. It's on the it's in Alaska. It's in a very remote part of Alaska, northern Alaska, I believe. Kenai Islands, maybe? Yeah.
Okay.
Southern part of the Kenai Islands. Or quinoa. I can't remember how it's pronounced. So it was founded in 1700 by this dude in the Royal Army named Portluck. But anything didn't really happen until about the 1910s when commercial fishing started happening in the area and they built a cannery. The government felt like, all right, this is going to be another big settlement, so they built a post office there too. Now, in between this time, say like 1930 to 1950, because it was abandoned in 1950. About a dozen. They didn't really give a number in the story I heard. He just said dozens of men disappeared from this village. Either it's never to be found again, and if they did or found, they were found mutilated in a lagoon.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Only one and like they're like thinking it's bear attacks and everything like that.
Sure.
And but the native will stop by and said, no, this isn't a bear. This is a natina. Half beast, half man.
Half man.
So
Okay.
So I think there was one guy that survived long enough to make it into the city to describe what happened. He said he was at his campfire. Something jumped on him, started pummeling him on the sides and pummeling him on the head. But his dog scared him away. He was able to get into town to explain what happened to him. And like I said, by 1949, people were like, we're done.
Wow.
They abandoned the town.
Wow.
Postmaster had to stay till 1950. But he said he was freaked out. He said, like, you just see tall creatures walking in the forest and everything. And also in the 1970s, a group of fishermen got stuck in a storm, and they went onto that land, and they were there for a little bit, and they decided they were going to go back out into the storm
because it was worse on land.
Because they saw shit. Oh
yeah,
wow.
They found like 18-inch footprints going up the hill, like through the mountain up the hill.
Wow.
Damn.
So like, yeah, it took out everybody that it saw.
Wow.
That's my story.
That's crazy. So Port Luck is what you speak?
Port Luck.
Port Luck. Okay.
Port Luck, Alaska.
Cool.
So we'll get some tickets. We'll book a trip. We'll
get Josh dates.
Yeah, easy.
We'll go.
I'm not going there. They said the only people that have gone there. This is off Mr. Ballin. This is off my guy I usually listen to.
Okay.
And they're like, he had a picture because the thing that I got it off was something with like 3 disturbing photographs. There's not very many modern pictures. You can only get there by boat or bush plane.
Okay.
Huh.
And they just have this one where there's just this house that sits by the woods.
Yeah.
It's just there. That's the last one that's like standing.
Wow.
So I'm not sure when the last people have gone there or whatever. That was just the story that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, that's an interesting story. I've never heard that one. That's a good one. I like that. That's scary as shit.
I think I got the dates right.
Oh. If you did, we wouldn't know.
Right.
I mean,
I
honestly,
I feel bad.
You can throw out any date you want. Dude, out of all the time we've done Madison, I can never remember the dates. And now with all the extra information, I can't remember anything. But
I don't need to have egg on my face by getting the dates wrong. I don't need to be called out in the comments for that shit.
We have 12 people actually watching, and not one of them has said anything.
Yeah, nobody knows the dates.
I don't think anybody's really listening. I think we're just on the background.
Everybody's at work. They just got us on for noise.
Yeah.
Like when my wife turns on Harry Potter at like 10 o'clock at night just to go to sleep.
How can you fall asleep watching Harry Potter?
But yeah, that was like cool, that's a crazy place. But up there, like in those northern, where there's like that big amount of land and no amount of people.
Yeah.
Like very little amount of people. Like back.
I mean, that would make sense.
That's where they're going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. So you said they found their bodies in a lagoon? Like the guys
found a couple
were missing?
They were mutilated, and they were found, in the lagoon. And when they found the footprints, I guess they followed them, and they got to a part where looks like there's this epic struggle between two things.
God.
Like there was like pieces of a moose or a bear all over the place, and then they saw the footprints going up the mountain. I meant to look up the mountain like last week, but I forgot to do it just to see. And intact, Natina.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was pronounced Natina because I remember it by saying Latina.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's a good story. And it's interesting to me that some of them had their bodies dumped in a lagoon. Like, that's not a bear attack. A bear attack's not going to like drag your remains and throw them in a lagoon.
Your mutilated body into the lagoon. No.
Right. That was
they just could never figure it out. And that's why finally the people, they just basically left overnight.
So
they abandoned the city and just.
Here's the theory. Maybe the Bigfoot throw their dead bodies of their loved ones into lagoons, and that's why we never find bones.
There we go.
It's true.
And they kill
Well,
everybody else.
Yeah.
And like I've seen other biologists and cryptobiologists all say that you can go hiking miles and miles, hundreds of miles in the forest and not even see one
Like
remains of even
bone
like
or
any of even like your higher end, like you're higher on the triangle predators, like wildcats, bears. You just don't see their remains anywhere.
right.
You can go and you can walk and you'll see deer remains. You'll see mice, little animals that are lower on the food chain. You'll
Right.
find that stuff. And usually you'll find that stuff in a big pile because whatever's killing them has their area where
Yeah,
they
the only
drag
ones
it
they
to and they
found
eat.
were mutilated in the lagoon. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
So if it's mutilated, it wasn't even doing that to eat. It was just doing that to say, get the fuck off my property. Or,
Maybe. I mean,
The fact that the one that
hopefully.
got me was the fisherman in the 70s, man. If you're out
Yeah.
there in a storm in
Yeah.
Alaska
right.
Yeah.
and you
What did
decide,
they?
I'd rather take my chances out in the water,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's safer. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what really got me at thinking. I was like, okay, that's some cold shit right there.
Right.
Yep.
I want to go back to Mike's comment
Okay.
because he said Bigfoot in cold, frigid conditions just seems more logical. Why would a creature suited for the brutal cold be spotted in places like Florida or Arizona? Yeah, I
Or
mean, if
Ohio.
they're covered in hair, essentially wearing fur coats from head to toe, it does
Mhm.
make a lot more sense that they would be somewhere like Alaska.
What if they all smell as horrible and as horrid as people who have seen them or have come across them say they do? That would make sense.
Right.
Well, they
But
probably
Yeah,
did because they kill everybody and they smell like body fluids.
that's true. If they're eating by
That's true too.
mangling their
Right.
prey, then they're
It's not like they
probably
take a
pretty
shower.
gross.
They don't have soap.
We don't
Yes,
know.
they
Maybe
do.
they
Haven't
do.
you seen the Sasquatch
We don't know
commercials?
anything about them, man.
Oh, here.
I'm sure they shower underneath a waterfall or something.
Right. Well, there
Yeah.
is like Denise just said, there is a Sasquatch soap now. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
The Squatch,
Yeah.
Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Squatch.
For $10,
And-
you can have a bar of that too.
See,
And the
you can
thing
always
is-
say that. Bigfoot is real in the ethos of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
He
Yeah.
is on T-shirts and all that. He's on our T-shirt, but
Yeah.
even if he's not real, which we all know he's probably real.
Right.
Yeah. In some way, shape, or form, I believe 100% that he exists, or it exists. They exist somewhere.
And it definitely would make sense, around the lower 48 states, they would have to hide all the time,
Mhm.
But like even when you watch shows like Alone, where they like just drop people off in these super remote places, the animals are not used to seeing humans, so they just get close to them because they don't
Yeah.
know. So
Right.
a Bigfoot who never sees people is not going to like try to hide from people because it doesn't know any better.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And they're just like us. They're after food. They
Right.
need things. And you see somebody that comes on and they have food with them. They're going to go check it out.
They're
And
not seeing
they
it
have-
as, oh, those are
I bet
humans.
you there's just like a very
Right.
slight between a giant bear and a Bigfoot. They gotta be so kind of just in that realm.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see there
I
was a
think it's more
video
of a bear-like creature than an ape-like creature.
you think?
I do.
Okay. I have seen a video of a bear who must have gotten its like front paws stuck in a trap or something, and it would just walk around on its back feet because it had to adapt to be able to get
Yeah.
around, and it couldn't use its front paws. Like you could see that its paws were all like curled up and damaged, and it definitely looked like a Bigfoot because it's just walking around.
Right.
Is that the grass man in Florida?
No, that would be the skunk ape, or what they call the bog squatch.
Yeah, the skunk.
Yeah. Oh, the grassman's actually that's ours. That's Ohio.
Yeah,
That's
that's
our-
Ohio. I thought, yeah.
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 But I think it's a bear-like creature.
Yeah. Which would
You
make
think
even
it's
more
more-
sense for Alaska.
Right. True.
Let's talk about David's comment.
One of my
David
friends
said,
thought the Bigfoot was spirits of the caveman.
yeah.
Huh?
Actually, it was just
So, go
I
ahead.
have that theory, and I'm going to talk about that after whatever you're going to say.
No, I was going to talk about Dustin Pari.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
was on the show and he said that if you look at it from an evolution standpoint, um, Bigfoot is us before we evolved, covered in hair, whatever. And then aliens are what we would evolve to, in hundreds of thousands of years because we don't need our hair anymore. We have clothes,
Mhm.
we don't, there's a lot of things that would change about
Whoa,
us.
let's just chill out there.
Not you, Heisenberg. You need your hair. Beautiful.
She's saying in the future. In
Yeah,
the
I'm saying
future.
like super thousands of generations from now. But we had hair to keep us warm. We don't need that anymore. So we would start to resemble aliens. We don't
Mhm.
go outside as much as we used to. When we do, we wear sunscreen, so we would become a lot more pale. So his
Right.
theory is that it's just like a time slip, basically, and it is
Yeah.
cavemen and our future.
Right. And I've
I
also
think it's
heard
bears and dinosaurs.
Okay.
I've also heard what Dave is saying, that Bigfoot are the spirits of cavemen from people. And it makes sense. Are you guys familiar with the term tulpa or agregor? It's basically
We're just talking about this.
yes, it's basically it's an intense thought that can physically manifest either a spirit. There's a story about uh landowners in China, in ancient China, that believed so definitely they needed help that they created other humans that worked in their fields, but eventually they evolved into their own thinking and left the farms. But if you think if
What?
you think about ancient man, here's what gets me when we learn about evolution of human beings in science class. What do you see? You see like the fish out of water, then
Yeah.
the monkey guy, then the ape, and then us. There's
Yeah.
never any of that in between.
Yeah.
Somebody just doesn't snap a finger and all of a sudden we're walking erect. That's not the way it
Yeah.
happens. There's that in between. And I think some of that in between, before we started walking around and communicating, when we learned fire, I think some of those were still around. But by that point, our brains are thinking those are the wild men. Those are the Bigfoot of their time or whatever.
Yeah.
So you go along, and then all these indigenous tribes for years and centuries or whatever are talking about the wild men that they met in the forest, which I think originally were those missing links in our evolution.
Right.
But those missing links eventually will die off and go extinct. But in the meantime, all of our ancestors are thinking these are real people, and they create and physically manifest with their thoughts and their belief system these creatures that exist in flesh and blood, but also have new supernatural powers, like a
Okay.
tulpa.
Like a tulpa.
So like our we believe them and we've seen them, and it just continues and perpetuates the story, and that's what's keeping them sporadically alive. But that's why they can disappear. That's why they can just cloak and go from place to place, or what people say, travel interdimensionally.
Because they're just
I
thought
think
form.
right. I think that they're a thought form. I think they're spiritual beings that are flesh and blood, but still have their supernatural abilities.
Yeah, I don't
That's my
agree with
thought.
that. I think they're bear-like creatures. But it's a good theory.
No, for sure. Because
I mean,
there is
they're all
nothing in
theories.
between.
They're all
And
theories.
and there are a lot of talks of giants
Mhm.
in the past.
Yeah.
So a Bigfoot could just be somewhere between an ape and a giant.
Well, we know that Gigantopithecus was a real thing. Gigantopithecus was one of the missing links. It was basically an 8 foot tall bipedal orangutan
Oh,
orangutan uh,
that was
type
heck.
creature. But yeah, I mean, we know those existed, and maybe they still exist. Who knows? Maybe they're
Right.
still walking around, just not in the great numbers that they used to be.
I don't
Right.
believe that because they're idiots, really, then compared to what we would be, right?
Not really.
I mean, because
Well,
they can't talk.
if they are not if they're going extinct, they have not gone to where they need to be, right? So they're either not smart enough or they have something that's not going to work. So
Heisenberg, we have anxiety and taxes. We are not evolved.
No,
well, no
we've.
shit. I didn't say we were
Just saying,
involved.
they evolved differently.
I'm not saying we were involved. I'm not saying we were evolved at all.
I mean, I'm just saying if they were separated from the rest of society and didn't know about the things that were changing, then yeah, they're going to stay the same, but I'm sure they still like cook with fire and,
Right.
Well,
And I know there's
those are like North Sentinel Island and stuff like that, where they haven't had civilization reach them and stuff.
right.
right.
Somebody threw a Diet Coke over to them, though, apparently.
Oh my gosh, I know. People are such assholes.
I know. Why would you even mess with them?
Right.
Darren said he was just reading about tulpamancers. It's a really the whole tulpa aggregor thing is really interesting, and
Yeah, it
there's some
sounds really
pretty
cool.
crazy stories. I mean, that's what Sarah's room is. That's what I think Sarah's room is.
Yeah.
I think she's a tulpa. I think she's a thought form. I think we created all these people coming into the house for years and years, way before even Adam
Yeah.
bought the place. We're told about a girl named Sarah that haunted the location.
Right.
But nobody can trace that name to anything. We don't know if
nothing.
she ever existed, but we know that room is
I
definitely.
never even got anything that indicated there was a girl in there.
Right.
No, but we kept feeding
people-
into it, so there's some kind of energy there that all that belief and talk. I mean, just like we were talking with Lloyd Auerbach about consciousness,
Mhm.
you perpetuate that, and maybe it's all of our consciousness combined, making
Right.
that energy form.
Right. And people bring presents for Sarah and dolls for Sarah and money for Sarah. And I will tell you that I feel like the people who walk in there and talk like, Sarah, honey, I came to talk to you tonight. I brought you this doll, like talking like it's a little girl there,
Uh-huh.
do tend to have like more exciting activity, like
this is. Oh, go ahead.
with like equipment going off and like the things that, are exciting when you're on an investigation.
Right. Okay. What
I
were we
don't
going to say,
believe
Mike?
in thought forms.
You don't believe in them?
No.
What do you think it is?
I don't think we manifest anything paranormal. That's just my thought. My thought is it's paranormal. Bam, bam, bam. We're thinking too hard into this shit, man.
Do you think that
That's why we have the show.
Do you think us thinking about it and us giving so much attention to it gives it more energy if it was something that started out paranormal?
I used to think that.
Yeah.
I don't anymore. I don't think we have one bit effect on the paranormal.
Wow.
I think it is a separate world.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's fair.
But
then how do we talk to them if it's separate?
Huh?
How do we talk to them if it's separate? How do they mess with our equipment if it's separate?
Why wouldn't they be able to mess with our equipment?
Well, why wouldn't we be able to mess with them?
We do.
You just said we don't because it's totally separate and we have no power over anything like that.
Well, I didn't say that you guys couldn't communicate with them. We all fucking communicate with them. Jesus Christ, we're ghost hunters.
But can we give them energy? Can we give them energy?
I don't think we give them energy. I think our equipment might.
Yeah.
I don't think people have that much effect on the paranormal.
I do. I don't know. I just like thinking of hauntings where. What's that? I just think I think we have an effect on them. Like we can affect them emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying energy-wise. I'm saying we could talk to them and communicate with them and everything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we don't give them energy. They have their own energy.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, just devil's advocate. if you're in a room full of people that are pissed off and super mad at you or anything, or just
Mhm.
completely negative about everything,
Yeah.
you don't, that doesn't affect you at all.
Maybe we're asking the wrong person.
That's true. Everything works
Okay.
out, right?
Different example. Kate or Lincoln is having a terrible day. They're taking everything out on you, whatever. They're just slamming things around the house. They're just constantly being like, ugh. Like that doesn't like affect you.
I'm just gonna leave.
Like their vibe doesn't affect you.
No, just leave.
Okay.
Like, you guys are being
See,
jerks.
But you
asking the
leave
wrong
because
person.
but you
Why
leave
would I
because
be
they're
around you
getting
if you're being like mean to me, man?
you leave because their energy is
Because
making
their
you
energy makes
so
you
leave.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right. So you
And it's
leave what's
affecting you.
not feeling well.
Well,
Which
you
is-
guys are talking basic communication. Yes, we communicate.
You want to read Linda's?
Yeah, Linda. Hey, Linda. First of all.
Oh yeah,
Haven't
hey
seen you in a
Linda.
while. Miss Linda Dick's a very, very talented medium. If you guys are ever looking for some help, reach out to her. She says she does think that sometimes paranormal investigators try too hard to prove that we
What
hope
we hope
might be
might
there.
be there.
What we hope might be there, especially on the TV shows. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And especially with
I
something
just
like
got to a
Sarah's
point
room.
where I don't like give feelings to ghosts anymore.
You
Like,
don't
yes,
give
they
feelings?
have feelings, and I'm saying that, but I don't
Yeah.
just automatically give them.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to do that. You try not to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what
Right.
you try to do. But like sometimes, and I've done it too. I still do it. You know, you get involved with the story a little bit.
Right.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
No.
And
Yeah.
right.
Do we really
And
know?
I mean,
No.
there's a lot of times too that we go to a different.
And I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
I want
Right.
you guys to all believe it.
We know. We know.
But but it is like, I mean, and I get it. Like, sure, we may not produce them thought form wise, but we continue to talk about them. And like you said, that's about the story. That story's been there.
Even if it's
Yeah,
an
now
ego
first day
thing.
we
Now,
sat
I
in.
am the only one that doesn't believe in thought form. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're not out there and that's not true.
Right. Right. You're
Even
just.
I'm just
you're
saying I
voicing your
don't believe
opinion.
in it.
Right.
But
Even
But no,
if
I'm
it
just.
starts-
I can listen to it and talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't really put feelings to it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's.
But even if it
perfectly
starts as something paranormal and we are constantly like feeding that ego and giving it more attention and making it feel more important, then it's going to act out more or like be more, I don't know, active. I don't know.
No,
But yeah, I
agree.
think
Agree
a
with
lot
that.
of the TV shows are bad about that. I mean, I don't watch them literally for this reason.
Right.
They just want to prove that there's demons in every place and
Right.
all this stuff. Like, that's not the way it goes.
Yeah, so it's basically at this point, I understand what he's saying because there's a lot of times if I go in a new place, I don't want to know the hotspots because I don't want to have that preloaded thought in my head that if I go in here and I work like spend an hour in here, I'm going to have amazing activity
Right.
or I'm going to see the very same thing. That's 9 times out of 10 not what happens. But somebody who's doing it for the first time is like, yeah, let me know where's all the hotspots.
Yeah.
What happens in here? And you're going to go thinking like front loaded, like,
Right.
I'm going to
This is
go in
gonna
here
happen to
and this
me.
is going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And then you start, especially when you're newer, you start thinking every little crack and creak and, whatever noise or piece of dust flies by your face is a ghost because
I remember
they said that's an active room.
Prospect Place used to post what happened in their rooms.
Like
They
on the
had-
wall?
Yeah, they had a piece
Yeah.
of paper that would say what activity would happen in
Yeah.
these rooms.
Okay.
So that
Oh,
kind
shit.
of puts it out there too, like
Yeah.
you could front load.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if it's something like, listen, our brains are so powerful when it comes to like telling our bodies what to do. So if you are posting something like, oh, people feel nauseous in this room or people feel dizzy in this room,
Yeah.
then your brain's going to be like, oh my God, am I dizzy? I think I'm dizzy.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going to feel dizzy.
Yeah.
So that is very much front loading.
But I would rather not know about any of that and walk in a room and then like, oh man, I feel nauseous. I have no idea what's going on here, but
No,
it's
I
just
wouldn't like to know that either.
yeah.
Because
I
I'm
do
afraid
like
my
to know the
brain will make
history.
it, like Denise said.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It's
Even
nice
if I
because
tried not to.
when Shelly and I go to a location, what we usually do is I will go on the tour and I will listen to everything because I'm obsessed with like the history of the places, and so I
Right.
tend to remember it very easily. And then we'll be doing our investigation, and then if Shelly picks up on something or says something, then I'll be like, okay, they talked about that in the tour. You know what I mean? So I'm not front loading her. She's not front loaded, but we do have like that validation.
That's a good mix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm totally down with the history. Like
Yeah, for
that's a
sure.
very
That's my
important
favorite.
tool.
Yeah. We have a lot of
Hey Linda, have you heard of California psychics? What? I want to know if am I the only one that's heard of these people?
I forgot to
How
look
are they
it
a
up.
business? What is their
Yeah.
business model?
Yeah.
They're from California. That's all you need to know. So they got to be legit, right?
Right.
So
I
Mike
want to call
said,
and be
"Oh,
like,
God."
what the hell are you guys doing?
So Mike said, residual energy he feels is just a stain on the environment that plays over and over. Yeah, I mean that's what most people's definition of it is. They call it, or like the stone tape theory, where it just because that energy soaks into the environment, it just plays itself over and over and over again.
Mhm. I think. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to take a turn.
No.
Mr. David Alcorn says, think of somebody being shy. They're going to be more friendly once they learn you and know who you are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I try to explain that to people too when they go to Madison. Like, if you come in like puffing your chest and acting like you're big and bad,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Nobody, alive or dead, wants to talk to you if you're acting
No.
like that.
No.
Like, let's just be real.
No.
So, if your
Right.
goal is to have an actual conversation and have like legitimate communication, that's not the way to do it with humans or with spirits. You
Right.
just don't do that.
What are you supposed to say to him first? Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Denise.
Remember Ray
Hello.
used to make fun of me
Yeah.
so much for that. Hello.
It was just hello. No, I liked it. It was just, but it was funny because that's what your first go to was. That was the Heisenberg introduction. Hello.
So I'll say hello to him.
Right. I get it. I don't think that was a bad idea.
No, it wasn't. I know. We're just messing around. We're just
I
messing around.
know.
You
Well,
did.
so-
Linda, she did hear of him.
Yeah, Linda said she did actually hear of him. So maybe that's a different story for a different day.
My middle son just got home from his Washington, D.C. trip. I'm so excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love Washington, D.C.
I've never been. And
I'm going to go back. That was one,
I
that's
wanna
one of
go.
my favorite places.
Yeah, I've never been either. I've been through
Yeah,
there.
that was one of my
to go
favorite
other
places. The
places.
history there, guys, is crazy.
yeah, when
Yeah.
my youngest goes, I will officially be the only person in the house that has not been to Washington. And I feel like I would love it the most.
Yeah, we went on one of our
Yeah.
anniversaries.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Liza went with a group from church a couple years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, they used to do a
Yeah.
school trip for us too. I wasn't allowed to go though.
Yeah, I never got to go.
I probably never asked to go.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Mike said he's going to the Ross house this weekend. I've done zero research on the history or haunting. Wish me luck,
Nice.
guys. I've heard it's pretty cool. I
That'll
don't
be
know much
fun.
of the history about it either, but
Have somebody else learn the history though.
yeah.
You know, when you go.
So at least somebody could validate something
yeah.
if you come
Yeah,
across
because
something.
you know the tour guide like gives you your tour and then they're not there anymore, so you don't have that
Right.
person to like ask questions to. So that's why I like to go on the tours.
That's for you, Denise. So you can read that one.
Okay, Darren said, Denise, do you notice teams investigating that are hyped up and full of energy get more evidence than the quiet, shy teams? Absolutely.
Sure.
It's almost to the point, and I'm sure you're the same way, Darren, where when you're just talking to people, like signing them in, getting their waivers signed, whatever, like you can tell if they're going to have a good night or not, just off of their vibes and how much fun they are, whatever. I feel like the people who are like super serious, they tend to have quieter nights, but the people who are just having fun, they're
Talking.
gonna have fun.
Yeah, just talking.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they're laughing and they're putting out, because it's just like being alive, guys. If you go to a party or you go into a room full of people and everybody's laughing and having a good time, you're bound to join in and have a good time with them. But
You
if
want to know
people
what's
are being
going on. You
super,
want to be part of it, man.
right. Yeah.
Well, it's like Heisenberg. It's like we always say. We always seem to get the best EVPs when we're not paying attention. When we're just
You know, we're
sitting
talking
there,
about something
Right.
completely.
yeah, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, where everybody is a little bit nutty
Yeah.
and tired and just whatever talking, and you get like a laughing or somebody saying something in response in the background, then that's like awesome
Yeah.
because
Or
you're
an
not putting
EVP
them center
arguing about
stage and
thought
you're not
forms, and there's
making
like
them.
an EVP that says, "Bullshit, I'm a thought form."
I only exist because you thought of me.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm scared of.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That player, you're gonna want to think about anything.
Maybe that's why my brain just says no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Timothy is asking, how do you guys feel about taking animals to investigation? Well, for me, it's not something I've ever done, but I feel like at least with like maybe dogs, they
Yeah.
have an alertness and their
I don't
senses are way heightened more
I don't
than
know
we
that I
are.
would
But
take any other animal besides a dog, if I'm being
no,
honest.
I'll take a
no, I
cat.
can't. Yeah,
I don't
right.
like
It's gonna
I don't
it's
like
gonna ditch you and go find a nice warm corner
Right.
somewhere and
I
leave
know.
you
Yeah.
alone.
And then
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
go
spend the
find
whole night
bats.
trying to find it.
Right. And then you won't be able to use the best investigation equipment, the cat balls.
Right, because
Because
your
they're
cat will be
the
playing with it.
right. Yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think
I
when
might
you're
be
having
scared.
fun and doing all that stuff, I think that they do get
Yeah.
more. They'll talk
Yeah.
with you more because, I mean, for the most part, they were humans, right?
Right.
All right.
And they want to be part.
Right.
So real quick, David Alcorns is taking off for the night. Want to thank him for tuning in tonight. Thank you, sir.
Good night,
Have a
David.
good night. And we will, hey, everybody check out 727 Paranormal Life. I'll be doing that and seeing what's up. Thank you for joining us.
727, that's the Florida area code.
Yeah.
That's where like all of my family is 727 numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw that and I thought out of the Boeing 727.
Oh yeah, of course you did. They're in St. Petersburg, so they must be close. Oh yeah, Clearwater. I've been to Clearwater Beach. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, when my wife and I went on our actual honeymoon to Orlando, we flew into Tampa and we stopped at Clearwater on the way there.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Mike, ghost hunting lemurs.
Stop it.
First of all, I don't know who has a lemur for a pet, but that's cool.
Because why would you do that, right? Why would you have a lemur?
Probably have a ghost hunting pig. They're pretty smart.
Yeah, they are really smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure, Darren. Those girls are phenomenal. And they just have a good time.
Those girls make everything fun.
Right.
Yeah, they do. I was happy to see Kristen and Jackie when I was at Madison last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They just have such a good energy and such a good vibe to them. They just make everything fun. Of course, the spirits want to be around them. Humans want to be around them too. So,
right. So you guys definitely check out. Yep, check out Kinda Woke Paranormal.
But
great bunch.
I feel like I would be scared. Like, I feel like I would be more alert if I brought my dog with me. Because, like, imagine you're just sitting in a room and all of a sudden your dog, like, looks over and is just staring at something or starts growling or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd bring my dog with me.
That would be too...
my dogs are too nutty. They have problems as it is.
I brought Roscoe to the seminary.
Have you?
Yeah, because one year for Halloween, he was a lion and I was Carol Baskins.
Oh,
so...
nice. I love it.
All my doors look like the seminary from my dog.
Oh gosh.
Scratched up. Wow.
Yeah, so he's been there, but it was kind of a chaotic day. We weren't like investigating or anything.
Oh, okay.
But there are stories about, the police dogs when they were doing the training would not go into the Civil War basement. Like
Yeah.
they would
Oh,
just
really?
full stop. And those dogs
Huh.
like listen to everything that their handler
Oh, yeah.
says, and they could
Everything.
not
Yeah.
get them to go down there.
Yeah. I definitely think they have a keener sixth sense than most
For
of us
sure.
do.
For
Yeah.
sure. It makes
But
you
I
wonder
wouldn't
if
take
like,
my dog.
do you think your pets like just are accustomed to the ghosts of your house?
Yeah.
And they
Maybe.
just
I
like
don't.
don't think anything of it?
You think they just saw, they've seen them since they've been there, so they
Yeah,
just
it's
think they're
just like
there?
like
Yeah.
they don't bark at us when we're home. They just think that they're just other
Well,
people that live there.
my
Yeah.
dogs do. Anytime, like, it's funny because that's why I'm like, I would never take either of my dogs. Like, Poppy is a freaking. She has problems. She barks at everything that moves, and she's insane. And if we're at the top of the stairs, and I think this is more like food aggression, a learned habit that Barney has from being at a rescue for so long. But anytime we go to like the top of the stairs, he lays at the bottom, like on the couch where he could watch everything.
Oh my gosh.
So as soon as he hears one of us like creeping out of bed, he starts growling. He jumps down and he goes and he keeps running back and forth from the bottom of the steps to his food bowl.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, I could just sit there like I'm in perfect view with the light on and just like looking at him, he'll just start growling at me like,
Yeah, he
dude,
is
calm
not allowed
down.
to go.
No. So he'd be
Dog needs
growling
some
at
help.
us the whole time.
Roscoe would be a big baby. He would probably run away or hide behind me.
Yeah.
I think Lolo would just be all aloof.
Lola might be good though. She's a German Shepherd, right?
Should mix with one, yeah.
Yeah, she's got that.
She's a super mutt. That was what her DNA test said.
Super mutt.
She has like Great Pyrenees in them. She's a black freaking dog. She doesn't have any Rottweiler apparently though, even though she looks
Right.
kind of like it.
Wow.
Casey from Hinsdale goes on investigations with her dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
She has Australian Shepherds, I think.
I would take it outside investigations.
Yeah.
Like if I was going looking for Bigfoot or something like that.
Oh, for sure. I would I would 100%
Yeah.
take my dog to go Bigfoot hunting.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be a given.
Yeah.
I mean, if
everybody out there
dog...
is a safety thing, I'm going to do a public safety announcement. Please take your dog Bigfoot hunting.
Yeah, right? Yes.
What if Bigfoot gets a hold of him, though, and kills it?
No, they won't.
Nope. That's what scared whatever was off that guy in Fort
true. Yeah. There you go. Got it. Well, I don't have like cool big dogs like you guys do, so I'm not taking my 9-pound Yorkie poo.
But honestly, like your dogs are still a warning system. You know what I mean? They can hear things way sooner than we can.
They could smell, they could hear things way, way better than we do.
Right. So it would at least give you time to prepare yourself in whatever way you need to.
Okay, well, he's growling. I'm going to die. Because I don't think I'm going to outrun a Bigfoot.
Yeah, no.
I don't think anybody's going to outrun a Bigfoot.
No.
You just get one of those blow darts.
I want to read.
I bet. See, Ray, you got it. Or Denise, you got it.
So Linda says their house is extremely haunted, and when they get another dog that's new to us, it takes them a while to distinguish human and spirit. While they're still new, they bark at every spirit that wanders through the house.
Once they get used to
it. Laugh out loud. It takes them a while.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa. Takes them a while to get used to it. And they eventually stop barking. Yep. That's... I don't think my house is haunted. My dogs bark at me and people walking down the street.
My house is 100% haunted.
You know what's funny is like I thought about going to Madison and my shower curtain fell off yesterday or Saturday.
Seriously?
When you guys were talking about it, I was like, oh, maybe I should go. And I was like, nah, I'm too tired. And then like I walk in there and I'm like, oh, come on.
The old lady that you brought home last time is like, listen, we got enough people here. You don't need to go there.
Right.
to
Right.
my house.
Yeah, it got pretty hopping though for a little bit. But all right, folks. Good show.
Oh my gosh,
Good
it's already
show.
9:00.
Yeah, it's already 9:00.
Holy cow!
See, that's why I like
Let's
this.
play the
It gives us.
announcement real quick again before
Yeah, absolutely. If you're
we
still
go, because
watching,
there's
play the
people who
announcement.
didn't get to see it.
The big project, the big
The
collaboration.
big collaboration.
Redo. Awesome.
Do you like the
You guys
shameless
excited?
plug at the end? Like, hey, if you're buying or selling a house, let us know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right?
Right.
Get in business, get that business
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Gotta jump into that. Head first, man. Trial by
Super
fire. Gotta
excited.
get going. That's
Head
awesome.
first.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah, this
crypto
is
heads.
fun.
Hey, real quick before we end the show, Heisenberg. Who's next? Me or Denise? Who do you want to hear next for the what the F moment of next week?
You.
Me?
Great
Yep.
choice.
Okay. All right, so I will be coming up with some kind of weird ass crazy story for next week, for next week's weekly.
And
what
I'll
the F.
heckle you through it like you heckled me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't heckle you.
We didn't heckle you. We listened.
I listened intently. I was like, actually, honestly, dude, for somebody who says they weren't prepared and didn't have
I was.
the information,
I watched it like last week.
but
Yeah.
you knew I mean, you said you didn't know the exact dates, but you knew the timeline.
Right.
So I mean, and the information you gave was great. I mean, you did a great job.
Yeah.
Only thing, I
impressed.
could have made the whole thing up. There could be no city called Portlock, Alaska.
I mean, hey, in a pinch, who would know?
Right.
Like
we're gonna try.
Fort Clinton.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm up next week for the weekly What the F, and yeah, we'll spook you later, crypto heads.
And please don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole, guys. We love you. Have a great weekend.
Bye.